Hello and welcome to episode number 61 of the Nintendo Jump Podcast. We are the best podcast that you will listen to for the next hour or so. And of course, our weekly discussion podcast created for Nintendo gamers by Nintendo gamers. It is the week of August 19th. My name is Daryl. And today, as always, I am joined by my good friend Sergio. How are you, man?
I'm doing okay, Daryl. It's been a week. It has been. But it doesn't feel like it. It feels like a blur. I don't know. A week went by and I don't feel like I did anything. Like nothing at all. But I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay, except I did a ton of stuff, but I feel the same way. This week went by in a flash. How about you, Kevin? How are you today?
I'm doing pretty decent. I have some Lipton black tea with some very special honey from Mickleberry Gardens. Now, shameless plug. Once again, they are from the PNW, or Pacific Northwest, in Oregon, and I added blackberry honey into my tea, and also I added Planet's very own, Planet's a brand, their very own oat milk, unsweetened vanilla flavor, very delicious. Mix it, boom, bomb, pachow, random words, whatever, is great. I love it, and I'm almost done with it. And it's in this mug that is really awesome. I know, I'll keep it short. It says, live a life you love.
It's too late for that.
Yeah, well, okay. It says, live a life you love. Shout out to my friends back home, JP and Kristen. They got me this mug. I love it to death. I love them to death. And let's get it popping.
Was fascinating. So, Nintendo Jump Podcast, sponsored by
Mickleberry Gardens.
JP and Kristen.
JP and Kristen. Yeah, they're two of my close friends back home. It was part of the care package they sent me. So, anyway, okay. So I'm gonna get to it. I dabbled on a bit too long. This is the part where Daryl asked me what we're going to talk about, but I will just...
Kevin, what are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about some things. We are going to talk about the Indie World Showcase that just happened not too long ago, along with bits and pieces from the Gamescom thingamabobber that happened not too long ago, and some SNES-related things. Stay tuned later on. That's it. So we're going to start with the indie world. Obviously, it was quite a bit in terms of what they showed. Lots of games, different genres, different varieties, blah. Sergio, what'd you think of it? Was there a game that really caught your eye? I'm sure there was.
Yeah, Serge, was there one particular game at all that you can think of?
Well, yeah, I was in it for one thing and one thing only, and yes, it happened in the end. Ori and the Blind Forest is coming to the Switch. Definitive Edition, September 27.
That's so I appreciate your excitement for it, but honestly, that is really, really nice to hear. I was, as soon as it popped up, I was super happy to see it. So, hashtag our friends at Microsoft again coming through with Ori and the Blind Forest. And then shortly after saying, we don't really want to do this make games for other consoles anymore. And then a couple days later, then they came back, well, we do want to put Game Pass on other consoles. I have no idea what the crap is going on. It's complicated relationship with Microsoft right now, but I'm really happy to see Ori. I haven't ever played it, and it looks incredible, and I've heard you talk quite a bit about it, so I'm personally excited about it.
Oh, yes, definitely. Anyone that's slightly interested, this is a masterpiece of a game. It's in my top 5 games of all time.
Ooh,
if you have any
wow.
interest on what you see, this game is just going to grab you by the jellies. It's not going to let go. It has amazing story. It has crazy good graphics. It's very atmospheric too, and the music is really good. But everything is good about it. The controls are buttery smooth. It plays really well. There's a lot to do and unlock. So this is the definitive edition. You're getting 2 additional areas and 2 additional moves. So you're getting the best version of the game. No more bugs, no more save issues. Everything is perfect.
Dang.
We hope.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited. Daryl's excited. I mean, you're excited. I mean, just by what you're saying, like, this seems like a must buy. I'm gonna pre-order it, man. And I know that some of us have some pre-orders coming down the pipeline, so this is great. I mean, I personally never played it. I've seen the videos. I didn't spoil it, but I've seen some of the gameplay. But man, I'm excited. Do you think this is the best way to get introduced to just play on the Switch? Is it the best way? Because like it was on the Xbox, I'm sure it did really well. Do you think it's gonna sell a lot? What do you think, Sergio?
I think so, because it's gonna be a lot of word of mouth and people knowing about this game, but a lot of people don't have an Xbox. I'm gonna say it the nice way. A lot of people don't have an Xbox, and this was mostly exclusive there. It's also on Steam, but now you really have no excuse, and especially on the Switch, you can play it portable too, which is really, really nice. Now, I'm gonna make this official. If you're interested in this game, but maybe you don't have the means or you're not fully convinced, reach out to me. I will help you out. We're gonna buy a bunch of copies of this game for everyone, so let me know. I want people to play this game for sure.
All right, so send all your requests to Sergio's personal email, which you can request one, he'll buy it for you.
We'll work something out. Let me know for sure. Yeah. I mean it.
All offers are offered on a first come, first served basis. Please direct all requests directly to Sergio, as he is operating outside of the volition of the Nintendo Jump Podcast and is acting of his own free will. And I'm assuming he's currently sane right now. So, yeah, back to the show. Okay.
What you said? What Daryl said?
That was my best attempt at a disclaimer statement. So
that was good. Oh, man.
Yeah, for the record, I'm not buying you anything.
Whoa.
No, so seriously, I am very, very happy to see Ori. That this was the one, we got Cuphead. This was the one that everybody was like kind of expecting afterwards.
Yes.
And one again, no offense, I love Xbox, I do, but one of the only real games on Xbox that I would really, really like to see come to Switch. The other one, obviously, being Rare Replay, which, who knows?
Yes.
I don't know.
It's possible.
But we'll see. We'll see. So this whole presentation kind of struck me as just one of those throwing everything at the wall and seeing what stuck. Like, there was a lot of really random stuff shown. And I like that because it shows a lot of variety in the games and the gameplay that they are kind of blipping between pretty quickly. But also there was just a lot of like kind of odd games in here. A couple standouts for me in particular. One is the game called Tourist, spelled kind of weird. It's developed by Shin'en, who is the company that made the Nano Stray and the Nano Assault games, also Fast RMX and a few other kind of actiony games, but they have a kind of a very wide history, so who knows. But it's just this kind of adventure puzzly game about a dude on vacation, and he finds a bunch of really crazy looking puzzles, and it like mechanically it looked super interesting, and I was very happy. I had a really good laugh when at one point he actually goes in an arcade and sits down in a game and starts playing the game, which is obviously like a version of Fast RMX, but man, it looks like F-Zero. Yeah. It looks so much like F-Zero in that moment. I'm just like, oh, that's awesome.
I saw that too, and I was like, man, that looks like Big Blue. That I was like, oh, from F-Zero. I'm like, man, they're just playing with my emotions, man. But just watching the trailer and seeing how beautiful the 3D pixelation, all the graphics and all that. I mean, I'm pretty excited as well. The name too, the Tourist, because it's spelled Tourist. for some reason, it reminds me of a PC game back in the 90s called Myst.
Missed.
Yes. Yeah.
I think
Oh.
it's supposed to be.
Yeah?
Yeah, it struck me as that was kind of intentional. Because I kind of got that exact same vibe. Like, why would
Nice.
you spell this with a Y? Oh.
Ooh. And, very clever. It's just, and it's gonna come out the day before Pokemon Shield and Sword and Shield. But, it's man. I mean, just back to back. Ooh.
There's a lot of that going on. We'll get to that.
Mhm.
There's a lot of some tight time frames in games coming up, but it's a little unfortunate in certain cases.
Yeah.
So this might be a little surprising. The other one that stood out to me a lot was actually Skater XL,
Ooh.
which was the skateboarding game with, trademark full board control, whatever that meant. They said that a couple times. I'm like, I don't know what that means. But anyways, if you couldn't guess it from what I said about Splatoon in the last episode, I'm kind of hurting for a nice extreme sports game, to be honest. I really would like to see a Tony Hawk or a nice new extreme sports game of some sort. And this one looked actually really cool for an extreme sports indie. Generally those are a little hit and miss. This one actually looked like offhand, it looked really nice. So yeah, it definitely raised my eyebrows a lot from what they were showing in the video itself. If it is realistic and you have full board control, whatever that is,
Yeah.
I mean, sign me up. It looked interesting. So yeah, that was a couple standouts for me. I've got more, but I'm gonna go ahead and hand it over to you, Kevin. What stood out for you, man?
Yeah, I mean, there was one game in particular that I really am excited for. I'm talking about a game from Chucklefish,
Yeah. This was my third one.
Yeah, I'm talking about Eastward, not West, although that would be nice as another game, Eastward.
That's the sequel.
It's a sequel? Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
You gotta give the West some love, so I'm speaking on behalf of the West Coast, but it has no relation. Anyway, so Eastward, I mean, I like the post-apocalyptic theme. The music just really, chimed with me. And even some of the, like, when you were looking at the gameplay, like, just the trees, like, the way it's shaded and, like just how they did the character models. Like, it feels very Chucklefishy. I mean, like, I can feel like that Stardew Valley sort of spirit, but in just a very very different kind of world. But it's still from Chucklefish because it has that spirit. I really like that. And then there was another one, I didn't expect this to. Okay, it's called Freedom Finger. Okay, like this is one of the things that I looked at it, I'm like, okay, you're like a hand. And it's like a side scroller, and you shoot enemies. You can actually steal the weapons and like use them against other enemies. And then when you stick the middle finger out, now, as you may or may not know, if you stick the middle finger against someone, that is considered very rude, taboo. Don't do that. We don't endorse it. But when you do, they show a censored.
Go ahead. What's gonna happen?
So send all of your, your concerns and tips about how to.
Daryl's comments are Daryl's alone and not affiliated with the Nintendo Jump Podcast. No.
Yeah, what Daryl said, but so when you see the middle finger, it shows the censored label, which I thought was great.
I wonder if it actually does in the game, or if that was just for this nice presentation.
I thought.
I don't know.
I mean, either way, that's awesome. Yeah. So those two in particular. There is one that, I'm thinking about it. I mean, it looks kind of cool. I need to see more trailers, but I'm gonna talk about Earth Knight. Now I know that offline we talked about. I mean, you all have some mixed feelings about it. It's like aesthetically pleasing, but it kind of has this eerie kind of tone at the same time. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't know what it is about that game. So this is the game where you're like running and jumping on dragons' backs and like trying to get down to Earth, which has been overrun with dragons. I don't know what it is. I can't really place it, but this game gives me. I can't look at this game. I can't. It really gives me the the heebies, to be technical about it. I don't know. It made me squirm as I was even watching the presentation. I'm like, no, not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot going on every scene, but it doesn't look like it's part of the gameplay. So it doesn't look like whoever's playing is having fun. I hope I'm wrong. It looks interesting, but that's how it appears to me.
Yeah, I think for me, and I do understand both of y'all's points. I just need to see more gameplay. I think that's just the thing, and see where it goes. Now I do want to highlight one more thing. Hotline
That's
Miami.
4, man.
Okay, I just want really quick. Okay, less than a minute or maybe 30 seconds. Hotline Miami. I think it's like was it 1 and 2? They came out
Yes.
on the same day as the Indie World showcase. So I highly recommend y'all pick it up. I played the first one. It's a rush of adrenaline. The music is just like jarring, but like gets you going at the same time. Like it just feels so. It makes you want to do things. I don't know. I can't even continue that sentence, but
That's bad for that game.
it's bad for that game. Okay.
that game's amazingly violent. If it makes you want to do things, that's a problem.
Okay. Well, I guess what I meant is
Seek help, Kevin.
No. I don't mean that at all. I mean
Put
like
down the baseball bat, man.
I guess I'm trying to relate it to like, you're. Yeah. I guess there's no way to put it back.
So Sergio, did you have any other games that you liked?
Okay, before we continue, okay, I think it's a great game to play. It just puts you in a different perspective of like, being in a situation where you have to beat people up and essentially kill people. But there's no way we endorse that. It's just a different look on it, and I don't.
Kevin's comments are Kevin's alone and not indicative of. Wow, 3 for 3.
Oh,
okay,
great.
This is gonna go well.
Yeah, so I highly recommend the game. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, probably not for me either. But yeah, Sergio, what else did you have?
Yes, I there were 2 other games that stood out to me. I like the way that Skellboy is looking.
Yeah.
It it just gives me a Paper Mario feel, but with a like a different a little bit of different to it. Like it looks really nice. It looks like there's a lot of different gameplay elements going on at once, but it looks stylish and it looks fun. Like it looks really good.
I thought it was kind of weird. The trailer started with talking about switching body parts or something, and then kind of showed a lot of gameplay that didn't really highlight that
Right.
at all. Like I'm sure it was in there, and I just was kind of missing it. But as somebody who hadn't seen the game before, it kind of just looked like a skeleton doing the Paper Mario walk. Which, hey, I mean, sign me up. I love that art style. So the 2D and 3D space thing, fantastic. Yeah, it was kind of an odd trailer, but I did like what I saw. It looked interesting.
Yeah, and it looks like it's gonna have its own sort of humor in a way, and I'm down for that. The other game that stood out to me is called Europa,
Yes.
and it's like a puzzle game, but it's sort of atmospheric, and you sort of twist the world all around you. It looks a little slow paced, but it's more about thinking how to solve the puzzles and like obstacle based. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Fez, but just without a lot of the platforming. But the way the graphics are really good for this type of game. So it looks like when you switch things around in the world, it's gonna look really really good.
The eyes on that character though, I always feel like that person's gonna cry. I don't know. It's just there's you know what I mean? Like it's super big. I mean, albeit it's pretty cute, but man, like the world does look pretty cool though, and I welcome more puzzle adventure games. So that's awesome.
It looked interesting. I couldn't really place what it was, but I'm saying that kind of thing a lot. But yeah, it definitely looked interesting. It's playing with a 3D world in different ways. So yeah, I think I'd be remiss to not mention Risk of Rain 2.
Yes.
So 3D co-op roguelike game. Didn't really show that much in the actual trailer. It was all cinematic, but yeah, talk about a few things that I would love to play with people. Yep, there you go.
Mhm.
And then of course I'm not really going to touch on Trine right here. For the record, I love the Trine series. I really do. I'll get to that in just a little bit.
Mhm.
And then, I mean, there was a lot in this actual thing. We're going to miss some stuff, but, I do kind of want to highlight Northgard. I actually looked into Northgard a little bit. It's a Viking strategy game, and it kind of looks like a real-time strategy, like an RTS. A little bit different in terms of how it plays, but it's in that wheelhouse. So definitely looks interesting, and it's gonna have a physical version, so you could pre-order it on Best Buy, or it'll come out on the eShop. It's also on sale right now as a pre-purchase thing, so it's normally it's $35. It's also $35 at retail, or right now it's $28. So a little expensive, but it looks interesting, so something to keep an eye on.
So for this game, I didn't really look too much into it, but is it kind of like Warcraft in a way, but just more of a Viking feel, or am I totally off?
It's kind of like very territory based.
Oh,
So
okay.
like you can only see your little area, and then you send out scouts and go see larger areas. Once you have enough of those, then it kind of plays like a more traditional, like just real-time strategy kind of game.
Okay.
Where you're gathering resources and then building buildings that can create soldiers or more hunter-gatherer types. It looks interesting. It looks like a polished strategy game that I have little idea how it's going to translate to consoles. I haven't really looked into that. On PC, it looks really good. So, something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I'm gonna stab for a reach here. That's not even the same. I'm gonna go with the reach here. For some reason, this reminds me of a game I used to play when I was a lot younger. It is, I'm gonna say it right now, one of my top 5 games of all time. Heroes of Might and Magic 3. Now, I know it's a different game. It's turn-based strategy, not real-time, but, just the environment in Northgard, it just, I think of Heroes of Might and Magic 3. Have you guys played that game?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I guess we can talk about that later. But yeah, it is like one of. I don't know why, but okay. Full disclaimer: it is one of the best games ever made, in my opinion. I mean, okay. I'm just thinking about that.
I mean, that's fair. Every time I see a real-time strategy, I take it all the way back to Total Annihilation on PC, which was released in like the 90s.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I mean, we all have our reference points, right? So
yeah, for sure. What about Fogs? I
that's a good question. Why don't you elaborate on it?
Yeah, I'm just gonna now. It looks very cute. It's like you're a double-ended dog.
Does it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you look at the pictures, yeah, but when you see the actual gameplay, I don't know. Like, I feel like it would be better if it were in 60 frames per second, because when I was watching it was only 30, and it just looked kind of choppy. I don't know, but maybe it just needs more of a polish, and then we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, I mean, it looks adorable. And I'll keep it in the back of my mind. I don't know. There's something about it, double-ended dog. Reminds me of a cat dog from Nickelodeon, except
Kinda,
two
yeah.
dogs. Kind of, yeah. But again, another reach.
A fairly short one there. I mean, it's the same concept. Sergio, do you have anything else you want to touch on here?
Well, an omission, if we may. Where is Untitled Goose Game? I mean, we've been waiting.
For that matter, I mean, we saw a Chucklefish game that is not Inmost. Where's Inmost?
Oh yeah.
There's a few of these indie games, like they seem to just kind of show them once and then let them come out eventually. Like,
Right.
I don't know. They don't typically go back. Where's Killer Queen? That we haven't seen that one for a while.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of these in the pipeline that we have seen that just kind of go and chug on development for a little while, and then come back. I would say where's Silk Song, but yeah, we already kind of know a lot about that game, so yeah, I would love to see it. I'm really excited for it, but I'm not too worried if we don't see it here.
All good.
And then I think the only other thing that I would want to really pull out. So there were two shadow drops. One of them was the Hotline Miami collection. The other one was a game called Super Hot, which is it's an interesting shooter with variable time. Kevin, you have played this game, right?
I have played it. I also backed on Kickstarter way back. It's like feels like you're kind of like in the Matrix, but but you're actually in it. So, I like it. It's definitely worth playing, and I mean, it was fun then, it's still fun now. So, definitely give it a shot. I thought it was pretty interesting that they both released Hotline Miami and Super Hot on the same day. So, two totally different games. I mean, they're both shooters, but they're different games. I do okay. One more. Spirit Fair. Now they announced it. They talked about it a little bit. I am very interested in building a boat to explore stuff and just it's a management type of game, and you're like this ferry master, building this boat to do some world exploring and stuff and blah. So I would like to pre-order it as soon as I can.
Yeah, so Spirit Fair developed, I believe, by Lotus or Thunder Lotus Games.
Thunder Lotus,
who previously made the game Jotun, looks like Jotun.
Yes,
about the Norse gods and such. One of the prettier games I've ever played. Like really, really good art style. It's a little slow to play, but this one seems to just kind of pull that same type art style, which is it's really nice to look at. It really is. So I like that personally. It looks interesting. I'd like to see more of the gameplay of it.
Yeah, me too.
And then, so Torchlight 2 feels like a big deal, but I don't really know that I want it. But when I saw it, it definitely raised my eyebrows, like, hey, Torchlight. And then I kind of realized, okay, we're kind of filling this genre up. We've already got Diablo. We've got a number. We've got Marvel kind of doing the same type thing. We've got Crystal Chronicles coming out, kind of doing similar stuff, and Nine Parchments, and all sorts of these like top-down co-op brawler type RPG action games. So I don't know. Is it a big deal for you guys?
I'm just gonna say right now, Torchlight 2 is like Diablo 3, but like actually good and better.
Wow.
Yeah, I played Torchlight 2. I played Diablo 3.
Easy there, Tiger.
No, and I say that because when Diablo 3 first came out, there was this need to just keep playing and like you feel rushed, you feel stressed out because you want to get the best items. You want to, it just felt way too much in the beginning, and like the story doesn't even make that. It's just not that grip. It just doesn't grip you that much. But with Torchlight 2, now just to say, Diablo 3 is a decent game in its own right, but I felt like Torchlight 2 is like Diablo 3, but it just doesn't things just much better. Like it's streamlining all the things like you would want in a action, like an action kind of game. Like you're pretty much in a hack. It's like this role playing dungeon crawler. I mean, you want to have like you're in this nice world with all these randomly generated dungeons, and I mean, it's and like there's the multiplayer, which I didn't play the multiplayer, but I heard it was I mean, we'll see. I didn't really play. I just only played the single player one, and then I mean, yeah, I just if you were to choose between Diablo 3 and Torchlight 2, please play Torchlight 2. Like, I feel like the difference between Diablo 2 and 3, like in terms of quality and like just the legacy of both, like there's a huge drop off. I mean that's why Diablo 3 you have all these Paragon levels, like just to try to entertain people who want to keep playing Diablo 3. I am unapologetic about that. I don't think it was as good as people thought it was. So yeah, I mean Torchlight 2. Now, although I'm not gonna get it for the Switch, but I think for those who want like that kind of dungeon crawler, get Torchlight 2.
Nice.
That feels like a hot take to me, but fair enough. I haven't gotten too much experience in either of them, so hey, it's another option, which is always a good thing. So it is nice to see, but yeah, it felt like I said when I watched the video, it felt like a big deal. Torchlight,
Yeah.
and again, I haven't played either of them, so I don't really know why it did feel like that, but it did. So I was happy to see it. Okay, so this Indie World came as part of Nintendo's presence at Gamescom, which is a actually large conference going on right now, where Nintendo is showing a lot of games, and they've posted a lot of videos of things like Link's Awakening, showing a half hour of gameplay of that, Luigi's Mansion, and so on. Have you guys seen anything cool come out of Gamescom that that you found interesting so far?
I don't know about interesting. Well, in general terms, it is the fact that people are getting hands-on impressions with the Nintendo Switch Lite for those interested, and we're seeing this is how it looks. People are getting to see all the three colors.
Yeah,
there's
that's cool.
some news on, how the screens look a little different. Like once in a while, you get a system that has like a yellowish tint on the screen. It looks like some of the Switch Lites might have a little bit of that.
Oh, really?
But yeah.
Whoa.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's just nice to see that people are getting to see how it is and to play with that system. For those interested, yeah, there's some impressions out there.
Man, I mean, gosh, I wish I were able to play on this a Switch Lite. I know we talked about this already, but we'll see. I just want to see more of it, but there is one thing that came out of Gamescom. There was a small trailer of Pokemon's Sword and Shield about the village that you'll be exploring. I mean, graphically, it looks really nice. I mean, the environment, like just different shades of color. Like it feels just the nostalgic feelings. But I thought it was weird where, or maybe not, but like there's the clothing store and there's like a grocery store, but they have like these like hieroglyphic like characters. It doesn't look like Japanese or Chinese or English. Like it's just like I thought it was very interesting. I don't know. Like I want to know if there's like a certain language, like a different language that they use in Pokemon. Like I think that'd be pretty cool. Like I do like games that have their own like sort of language that they embed into it. Anyway, but there's like there's two. Yeah,
that's very valid. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, right. And I mean, it's a short video, but it was great. That was the only thing granted, there was a Call of Duty announcement, but that's all I'm gonna say.
Well done. Yeah, and for me, just aside from we've gotten some little news snippets here and there, nothing huge. A lot of games on sale on the eShop now, presumably kind of coinciding with this. So if you're interested in any games, look on the eShop right now. Like the Capcom's doing this crazy sale, and the Guacamelee team is doing the same, and the SteamWorld games are all on sale, and just so on and so forth. Transistor is $4, Bastion is $3. There's a ton of really good sales out there, so if you're interested, just go check it out. And then the
I don't know why I'm saying that, but okay, now I do. Real quick, Transistor is an amazing game. I played it on PS4. Please play it. Great story.
I will. I bought it.
Good. Good. Great decision making right there. I'm gonna 20 seconds. It's like the story goes very well with the game mechanics. Very tactical. You're gonna love it. The music is great. And the story.
Oh man, yeah. I'm tempted.
And you're not the only one saying these things. It's the same. So Bastion got a huge hype train behind it, and it deserves it. Transistor, same team, also got a huge hype train behind it. Never played it, so I can't say it deserves it, but you do. So that's awesome. $4. I mean, I picked it up. So
that's a steal.
No problem.
Yeah.
The only other thing I want to touch on is so Nintendo's having these little like interviews and discussions and such of people sitting around a table, and it looks like a fun booth that they have. But they keep doing this thing where there's a coffee table in the middle of them. They keep putting random fruit on this coffee table, including thus far what I've seen, a pineapple and a watermelon. And they're sitting here right beside this Mario figure. So a lot of speculation has hit that they're kind of hinting at Mario Sunshine in some way. Maybe
What?
either a re-release of some sort, or I don't know, maybe even a sequel, unlikely as it is. Is it, I love that line of speculation. You've got a watermelon, therefore you're making this game, but I can see it. And man, a Sunshine HD with a little bit of bug fixing and problem fixing in that game, sign me up. Absolutely. Low key, Mario Sunshine is one of my favorite Mario games, so I know it has problems, and I'm not ignoring those at all, but it is fun to play. So yeah, sign me up. I'd be there for sure.
Sweet.
Yeah, I would be very interested myself. I didn't play much of it, and it's a good portion of because of the issues that you mentioned. Something felt off. I mean,
Yep.
I know a lot of people played it and loved it, so it would be a great opportunity for people like me that missed out, or just to anyone that hasn't played it, to finally experience it. It's one of like the obscure Mario games in a way of the 3D ones. So it would be nice to have it.
Full disclosure, I've never played Mario Sunshine. I mean, it was one of the games I totally regret not playing, along with that F-Zero game.
All right, so here's what you do. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I'm not doing that again.
Wait. I can answer that. You get a GameCube. You go find an F-Zero game for the GameCube.
Yeah, that's
you play
cheap.
it.
Mario Sunshine is not. Mario Sunshine will set you back a little bit, but
Oh, well, how much is that?
$20-$30. It's not too bad.
Wow.
F-Zero
No,
is in the
that's a
realm
good
of like
value.
less than 10 at this point. Anyways,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
perfect,
digress
yeah.
real far. Speaking of games you can buy right now, hey, segue. So another rumor / leak has come out real recently. GameStop employees are reporting that a ton of new unlabeled Switch SKUs have popped up in their system.
Yes.
This typically
Ooh.
happens before a lot of game releases or game announcements, I should say, such as it happened right before E3 and all of those that have been filled at this point. It's happened again, which is kind of pointing to maybe we're sneaking up on a direct coming up pretty soon with a bunch of game announcements. So hype,
Ooh.
definite hype.
Yes.
On a scale
Yeah.
of 1 to hype, how hype are your hypes?
Hype out of 10.
Nice.
It's a scale of
number.
1 to hype. It'd be hype out of hype, man.
Hype out. Well, I just want to indicate that hype is way, way, way more than 10. So, this is a good problem to have. I mean, there's just so many games coming out, and I don't know what I want.
We'll get to it.
Okay, I know. Oh my god, I just want to win. I mean, I don't know why I said that, but I want to win at life in terms of being able to play every single game I want.
Oh,
But it's so hard because, there's just a non-stop release of all these games, and including one we're going to talk about in this a little bit. And just, my god, I don't know. And then
Including
there's
more
Fire
than a
Emblem.
dozen we're going to talk about in a minute.
Oh man. Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, as somebody who I was a solo, I had a Wii U and a 3DS, and I was still those were my consoles. I lived through that time of I had literally every relevant game on Wii U in particular. I would go into a store and be like, nope, got it, don't want it, got it, or played it, sold that, played it, whatever. Man, I can't do that on Switch. That's no longer possible.
oh
this,
no.
this console is insane. I'm trying, and I'm failing badly. So,
Oh man.
anyways, new games in theory. We're gonna get a direct pretty soon. Here's hoping. September directs and directs around this time frame are generally pretty fun. So, yeah, sign me up. I really hope this actually comes true. Be nice to see. One other piece of news. Sergio, you want to talk about the Super Nintendo stuff?
Oh.
Yes, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe a wireless controller, pretty much in the shape of the SNES controller, there was a patent or a reveal of it in a way. We kind of came to light. And there's a lot of rumors going around that it's because, Super Nintendo games are going to be added to the Nintendo Switch Online service. And it's a very logical next step. And of course, after the 1 year of the service, that would be a really nice thing to add. And oh man, I think a lot of us would be very excited. So we were thinking, what are some of the best SNES games or our favorites that we would want on this service? And we kind of agree on a lot of them.
Yeah, so let's take Zelda, Super Mario World, Super Metroid, Mario Kart. Let's take those off the table because we're all going to say those otherwise. So
Right.
what else?
Yeah. Well, there's that one game.
Mario Kart 1.
Mario Kart 1 and
F-Zero.
Mario Kart 2.
F-Zero.
Yeah, F-Zero.
It's got to be F-Zero for you.
No, well, yes. And yes. It's just, I mean, just like double yes, like triple yes. Like I want to play it again and again. I don't want to play on the emulator anymore. Excuse me. And
it's not like they're trying to make money on it. Oh,
yo. I'm crying inside. Oh,
it's funny because it's true.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I can't. No Mario game. Oh, there's one, but I can't say it right because it's the Mario game.
No, I was talking about Mario World. You can say, if you want Mario's Time Machine on there, you can have Mario's Time Machine. It's okay.
Well, that's a good. That is a good one.
Yeah, that's fine. That can be
Yeah,
your one
never
game to put on.
Consider. I'm just kidding. Yeah. I was thinking about Legend of the Seven Stars. That's a good one. Mm-hmm.
Mario RPG, yeah, for sure.
Yes.
There's a ton of Final Fantasy games.
Final Fantasy 3.
3 good ones.
I would do Final Fantasy 3 or Final Fantasy
Daryl, I know you'll agree, Star Fox and Tetris Attack.
Yeah, so Tetris Attack would be my number one by far because they have not officially re-released that.
Ooh.
Yes, never.
Even if they removed the Tetris branding on it, if they just called it like
Attack.
yeah. Yoshi Attack. No, like Panel de Pon is its like Japanese name. Puzzle League is over here, so call it Puzzle League Attack or something. I don't know. I would love to see that game because in theory, if we're adding these to the Nintendo Switch Online app, we can play these online. Giving me an online way to play Tetris Attack officially, that would be game changing. Like I would play the heck out of that game. Like where is Puzzle League 99? I would not ever stop playing that game ever.
Ooh. Yeah.
So yeah, you would be giving me my favorite puzzle game. Fair enough. I think for me, as long as I get Tetris Attack, which I won't, but even if I would love to have that. Yoshi's Island would be a very nice pick.
Yes.
Because one, it's one of the best platformers ever made, and two, it actually has a full 2-player minigame mode. It's hidden. You hold select and hit XXYBA, I believe. It's been a long time. On any map screen, it brings up this like multiplayer menu, and you can play 2-player on a bunch of little mini games where you're spitting watermelon seeds at each other, for example, or hitting a combination of commands as the screen dictates and such. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I played a lot of that as a kid, and that would be a fun thing to have on the online app too.
There is one that I would like to speak highly of. Mario Paint. I would love to have that. I mean,
how do you even do that?
Nice.
I don't know. I mean, okay, I didn't get that far.
I don't disagree. It was great, but I just don't know how you do it.
Yeah, I mean, like if there's a way to like connect the Switch to like a mouse and just be able to, or like a Wacom tablet where you can draw and stuff. I don't know, like just I want that game in this on the Switch and just be able to play it.
I think that game would be ripe for just like a small eShop app at some point. Just be like
Yeah.
Mario Paint completely redesigned for today's age. Like,
Yeah.
because we've got things like touchscreens and stuff now. I mean, you could do it.
Right.
Just
right.
I don't know, that whole it just seems to kind of have disappeared for some reason.
Yeah. Okay. What about the Donkey Kong Country series? I mean, especially
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we gotta have those. And Chrono Trigger. Yes, I would love that too. That's all I got for now.
I've got about a dozen more, but I'll show some restraint because it turns out the Super Nintendo was a very good system, and pretty much anything they throw on the service, I would love to play again. So I would love to play with people. Here we go. If you have never played Super Metroid,
Yes.
which I know a lot of people have, I consider it one of the best games ever made, and I will not hold any punches on that. I consider Super Metroid to be like literally one of the top 10 video games of all time, period. If you've never played this game, I would love to get online with you and kind of co-op through the game. That would be a lot of fun, I think. So if only just to like have the little hands and, you know, do little circles and clap and stuff when you find stuff. That'd be fun. So yeah, there's my offer. So that's cool. And a couple things on these patents for the controllers. They apparently have model numbers that match what they did with the NES controllers that they released as weird Joy-Con attachment things. So all signs are pointing to they're going to release Super Nintendo controllers that behave as Joy-Cons for the playing of, in theory, Super Nintendo games through the online service. So sign me up. Absolutely.
You know, I'm a little mixed about it because I have the 8-Bidoo, SN30 Pro controller, and I love it to death. You know, I guess okay, all right. I guess I would entertain the idea of having SNES.
You could just use that for those. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not one or the other. Like they will, presumably, if they do the same thing they did on the NES, they'll release these controllers as a 2-pack for like $60-$70.
Yeah.
Or something, just for the people who really want that. Or if you don't need it, don't want it, whatever, it's not, no big deal.
Right.
You can still play with a Pro controller.
Right.
So
That's
you
true.
can still play with your 8-bit-do.
Yes. 8-bit-do. Cool. Okay. I just had a thought. I want this game to be on this service. One of my favorite games of all time, Kirby Superstar. I mean, that was my first Kirby game.
Has to be.
That was the first Kirby game I've ever played in my life. And
it's got fantastic co-op, too.
It does. And, I remember this one tune. It goes like...
Yep.
Yeah, that one. I don't know what the name of it is, but it is synonymous with the word great. I love it. I don't know what the name of the tune is, but I just love how great it sounds.
It probably wouldn't be that hard to find, but yeah, I don't know it offhand either. I think it made it into Smash, if I remember right. But anyways,
yes.
yeah, Kirby has a lot of iconic tunes, and they all are pretty well done in Superstar. I would love to play Superstar too.
Yes.
So yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
There's also some good Bomberman games on there that would be fun over online co-op. There's a bunch of like, man, if they could get the license for Turtles in Time, that would be incredible.
Yes.
Ooh.
Killer Instinct too.
Killer Instinct. The old school Mortal Kombats, whatever you want. There's a ton of old games that, I would be very excited, very, very excited to see them actually start the Super Nintendo games. I don't know exactly how far they would take it, but honestly, some of their first parties there are just some of the best games ever made. So,
right,
if we got a dozen of them, I'd be okay. So yeah, it'd be great.
Cool.
Okay, I think it's time to transition a little bit. We're gonna take a quick look at the rest of this year and the near future, and just some games that we're hyped for, games that we have pre-ordered, games that we're really looking forward to at this point, and we're gonna kind of call out some of the release schedule madness that we've been seeing. So if you're one of the people who has complained about the slow release schedule thus far this year, fear not. It's about to get crazy.
Oh,
So
man. Yeah, gosh.
real quick,
Mm-hmm.
I say this understanding that I'm an insane person. My Best Buy Gamers Club Unlocked is running out, and they have discontinued the service, so I will not be able to sign up for it again. So it still applies to all games that you pre-order. So I have gone through over the past week or so and pre-ordered literally every game that I was mildly interested in.
Whoa. Okay, so how many is that?
I came up to a final number of 16 games that I have pre-ordered. I'm gonna read you a list real quick, okay?
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna go as fast as I can. And these are mostly in date order. I may have some of them wrong, but whatever. Collection of Mana, the physical version. Astral Chain, Spyro Trilogy, Ni no Kuni, Link's Awakening, Dragon Quest XI-S. I'm still in September, by the way.
Oh my god.
Shrine Collection, which is 1 through 4. Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz, the HD remake. Luigi's Mansion 3, there's the end of October. Just Dance 2020. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games 2020 Tokyo, which we'll get to. Super Lucky's Tale. Pokemon Sword, so there's November. And then after that is some later games such as Ubisoft's Gods and Monsters, Animal Crossing, New Horizons, which I know you guys will be happy about, and Metroid Prime 4, which is actually up for pre-order still at Best Buy.
Wait, really?
So, yeah, it's coming at some point, and I do have it pre-ordered for that sweet 20% off, yeah.
Wow, that is well done. Wow. Oh, dang.
So, yes, I understand I'm crazy, and I've gotten the question, how do you expect to play all these? I don't. I really don't.
No, my question is, where's Tsum Tsum Festival?
Yeah, that's, I'm holding off on that one. I want to read some reviews for, no,
Oh, that's a download, right? That's why.
yeah, there we
that's
go.
one I want on my system.
The
So, I'm just looking at this going, okay, Collection of Mana is coming out August 27th. That's 3 games.
Wow, that is really soon.
Yeah, Astral Chain is coming out 3 days later. Whoops. Then you get into the craziness of September, which is Spyro, Ni no Kuni, Link's Awakening, Dragon Quest, Ori now.
Yeah.
and
Oh my god.
probably a bunch of games I'm forgetting. Are all in September, which I just listed 2 large RPGs. Mostly one's for my wife, one's for me. But even still, that's insane.
Yeah.
And then Super Monkey Ball and Luigi's Mansion are coming out about 3 days apart, and those are 2 of my most hyped games thus far. So
Sweet.
help, I think, is what I'm gonna say. Just help.
Man, I mean, wow, that I don't even know what to say. Like, that is a very great pre-order list. I don't even know. Okay, so for me, I have Animal Crossing. Okay, so no particular order. Pokemon Shield, Animal Crossing, Luigi's Mansion 3, as I publicly have stated I will pre-order that. Final Fantasy 7 Remake on the PS4. Ordering the Blind Forest as of now.
Nice.
And I will like to pre-order the Mario and Sonic Olympics game, the Tokyo 2020. Which, as Daryl said, we will get into. I'm very excited about that. And, yeah, like, oh, man, when you said that, Daryl, when you said the GCU Best Buy thing is over, mine is over too. Man, I'm sad. I wish Best Buy could have continued that program. I thought it was great.
I mean, I understand why they're not.
I know, I understand too, but, oh well.
Yeah, I mean, look for me to maybe cancel some of these, but I just want to get them pre-ordered because it doesn't really take anything, and
No, yeah,
Right.
it's good.
might as well lock in that deal, if you are interested at all. But, oh boy,
That's a lot.
So yeah, games that you're hyped for. Obviously, Ori, I think for all of us. obviously Luigi's Mansion for all of us. Is that true,
Yes.
Sergio?
Yes.
Okay. And then Mario and Sonic is turning up to be like a very surprisingly really cool looking game, to be honest.
Yes. When does that come out?
November 5th.
Yep, just got
Ooh.
announced. So
Nice.
yeah, Mario and Sonic. Let's talk about that for just a second because we haven't really talked about it at all. I've played some previous ones. The games are fun. Like they were fun before, and they get low rated. Average ratings. Because they're kind of mini game collections, and the old versions of the games kind of locked you into some controller shenanigans that you maybe didn't want to be, such as the Wii U version of Mario and Sonic at Rio, or no, was that London?
No, well, Rio is 2016, London is 2012.
Yeah, it was London. It locked you into using Wiimotes of all things. Not even the gamepad, like Wiimotes. You had to for certain events. So in this one, there are motion controls, but you can also play apparently every game through button controls instead, which is fantastic. I love it.
Yes.
Also, they just released this trailer. Kevin, you want to talk about it?
Oh, hell yeah. I don't know where that came from. I'm so
How cool did it look?
Yo, it was pretty... It's beyond dope. It's beyond decent. Like, I would have never thought I'd be excited about an Olympics type of game like this much so bad. I just said that same thing twice because I know how awesome it is. Like, it's I love it. And it has... The one thing that really got to me was that there are 2D events in a 3D game.
Yeah.
Like, how, when, what, where, why, how, I don't know.
And it looks like the old track and field games, but
Yeah.
with Mario and Sonic characters. Which looks incredible.
It looks amazing. And, I don't really play volleyball that much, but I want to play the volleyball game, and it's so bad. And the table tennis, and the 400-meter hurdles, and the diving.
And you've got these characters in like their original appearances. So you've got 8-bit Mario, but you've got Sega Genesis version of Sonic and friends. So it doesn't look like it gels very well. It really doesn't, but it looks hilarious. It is so cool, and I'm happy about it. I really am. Like that trailer, I was like, man, this is exactly what you need to do. This is perfect.
Yeah, and I just want to add, there is historical significance to this game. If you watch the trailer, there are instances where you see the banner Tokyo 1964. Now, for those who don't know, that was the last time that Tokyo hosted the Summer Olympic Games. So that was, like almost 55 years ago. And there's something amazing about that. It's like maybe it's a small thing for a lot of people, but to me, like, or maybe it's a big thing. Like it's huge. Like it's because you have a company like Nintendo, Japanese based, making a game about an Olympics that a city like Tokyo is hosting. I think there's a lot of pride. I think there's a lot of just that. It just feels great. Like this is going to be. It's not just going to be a good game. It's going to be an important game that Nintendo has to pull off to do well. Like they have to do well with this. Like, I mean, when you think about the Olympics, you think about the legends, just the legacy of, like every 4 years, everyone comes together. It's like kind of like the World Cup, like everyone a lot of people watch World Cup, but like for Olympics, there's so many events. You have like track and field events that people just watch every 4 years. And there's fencing, there's diving, there's all these sorts of things, and it's just like there is something majestic about the Olympics, and I think that this could be one of the top 5 games this year. Like I'm saying that right now. Like I really think so. Even if you're not into sports, like you cannot deny the significance that this game can have. So I can go on and on, but that's all I have to say about that.
It's developed by Sega, so I'm gonna hedge my expectations just a little more than you.
Yeah, that's true.
It does look like a lot of fun. It has online play. It has it looks like a really good step for this series, and I think that the series is on a base level a fun series. So I am looking forward to it. Like, just it's one of my most hyped games on this list, to be honest, which is not something that I thought I'd be saying as of like 3 days ago. But hey, life is crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I didn't know that it was made by Steak. I got too hyped.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think everything back that I said.
Yeah. It'll still be fun.
I need to step away.
All right.
Okay, wait, no. Okay, I'm just gonna say this one thing. You know, because it's made by Sega, I think it's still pretty important because again, Sega, they have a rich history. Competing against Nintendo, now they're working together with Nintendo. I mean, it's still...
I am sure they will treat it with as much authority and diligence as they do the Sonic series. So we'll be okay.
I think we'll be good.
Anyways, who would have thought? Like, of this entire list, two of my most hyped games are both Sega games. Interesting. The other one being Super Monkey Ball, of course. And then kind of hiding in the middle of this list is a game that I'm actually like really excited to play again, and that is Trine Collection. So I did say I would get to it. This is Trine 1 through 4 coming. I love this series. I really like this series. If you have you guys played Trine?
I've played Trine 1 and 2. I 100% agree. It is. There's a certain charm with it too. Like it's akin to one of the games on the NES where you get to use like 3 different characters. I forgot what it's called. This is the Lost Vikings.
Yes, that's it.
And just having that spirit come over to a game like Trine, that's what makes it great. And I'm so proud and happy that they're gonna have this on the Switch. Like, awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, these games have full online play, so you can play with 3 players, each controlling a different character, or you can play as one person switching between the characters to have their various skills. They all have skill trees, so you actually, and I mean, it's like valuable skill trees. It's like learning new attacks and new movement techniques and such to get through the levels. It's all physics-based puzzles. The game is really funny. Like, the writing is really, really good. Man, and I never got to play Trine 3, which is...
Me either.
Not as important as 1 or 2, but to get all 4 of them in this package, and to hopefully play online with people, like, I was talking to Dragon earlier today about playing Trine. He approached me about it. I was like, man, I'm so happy to hear you say that, because I love this series. I really do. So yeah, I'm excited, and I mean, on this list is my first Dragon Quest game. I've never played a Dragon Quest game before, so 11 is if I actually go through with it, it'll be my first one. On this list is a new Super Monkey Ball game. Who thought? Luigi's Mansion, which is I pegged as maybe one of my games of the year.
Right.
Pokemon Sword, which is going to be my first Pokemon game since Sapphire.
Wow, yeah, that's gonna be good.
Animal Crossing, which I'm probably not gonna play, and a game like Astral Chain, which is developed by Platinum, which I'm not. Contrary to what you might think, I'm not actually the biggest Platinum fan in the world. The games don't typically click with me, but this one's getting fantastic reviews, so I don't know. I'm like, I look at this list and the list seems crazy, and it is, and then I start trying to take things off of it, and I'm just like, but I don't want to.
You want to take it back?
So I think between me and my wife, I think we're probably gonna tackle at least most of this, and I'll keep you guys posted.
Yeah,
Oh God.
You can play the Dragon Quest 11 demo. It's out right now, and I heard that it takes over 10 hours to complete. And when you buy the full game, the progress carries over. So that is really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean...
Yeah, Square is really good at demos, by the way. Like, just in general. Like, their demos are, like, the top tier of demos.
Yeah.
Like, what they did with Octopath, both the really original one and the demo that actually did the same thing and carried over. The Bravely Default demos were fantastic. Like, they're just really... they're top notch with demos.
For sure.
And another game by Square coming out surprisingly earlier than we thought, very early in September. Final Fantasy VIII Remaster.
Yes.
Kevin, are you getting it?
Well, no. Okay, let me just. I take my back. I take my
Another September game.
You know.
Yeah, right.
Now I did mention that I would not get this game, because I've already played it. You know, and I still love it. I've been on the public record that it is the most important Final Fantasy in my life. But you know, gosh, I need to flip a coin. I don't know. I'm not taking it back. I need to flip a coin, and then we'll see what happens. Like there's just something about
Going
it.
regular Two-Face up in here.
I know. I mean,
that's a dangerous path, man.
you know what? Leave it a chance. I mean, you know,
you open up all these timelines, and
oh gosh, you know what's gonna happen? I mean, pretty soon my wallet's gonna be like, "Hey, man, what you doing? Getting another game?" So I was just like, I don't know. I for now, I'm gonna leave it to a flippable coin. That's all I'm gonna say.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Nice.
And a game that's not on this list, Crystal Chronicles.
Yes.
Whenever that drops, I am in. It doesn't matter. I've made that about as clear as I possibly can be. They could say, "Hey, we're releasing it tomorrow for $80," and I'd be in. So
whoa!
I don't know. I really want to play this game.
Yeah,
again.
So goodness.
Yeah, that's a little insane, but whatever. Yeah, Sergio, what about? I mean, any games that I did not hit that, or any that you're in particular excited for?
Most of the ones you mentioned, I'm interested in. Definitely getting Zelda, definitely getting Luigi's Mansion. That's a download for me. I'm getting Pokemon Sword and Shield. So
nice.
Ooh.
One that is not on your list, it's the AI, the Somnum Files, which is by the developer of the 999 series. And it should be pretty good. I'm kind of avoiding the many trailers that are out there just because I want the story to be as fresh as possible. But yeah, definitely. That's in September, a week before Zelda.
Oh,
so
good.
September is just crazy.
Man, what are we gonna do? I mean, there's so many games. I mean, just like now, there is one series in particular. I don't know if they talked about it, but I really, really, really want to be on the Switch. Any sort of Professor Layton game, like
Yeah, it is. It is.
Wait, what? Wait! You mean it can't be it can't be Curious Village, right? I mean, there's gotta be, or
no, it's a new one. It's
the one with the daughter.
Oh,
yes.
Catriel, is that how you say it? Catriel.
Yes,
that's her name, but it's Layton's Mystery Journey. But I actually saw it while I was pre-ordering all these other games.
Wait. Oh. Man, okay, well.
Also, Curious Village is apparently going to be ported to Switch. It's at least rumored. So.
Oh yeah, man. I mean,
which I didn't know until now either. So hey.
Yeah, I mean, I played on the DS. I would play it again. I forgot. I'm pretty sure I forgot all the puzzle solutions and stuff. So I mean, I'm down to play it again. Man, okay, we're golden. I mean, just
the Switch just delivers. Like, it's getting most of my top games of all time. It has Resident Evil 4. It's getting Ori. I just want Zelda Ocarina of Time on it, and I'm done.
Yeah, this everything to Switch mentality is actually panning out, and it's amazing to see. You've got every Contra game pretty much, a lot of Castlevania games. You've got Mega Man games, Mega Man X games. You've got Resident Evils. You've got all the new games. You've got Ori and Cuphead, and oh my God. You got everything that is not developed by EA. So, anyways, I am not sorry for that.
Yeah, you don't have to be.
Okay, so the official title, Layton's Mystery Journey, Catriel and the Millionaire's Conspiracy Deluxe Edition.
Wow.
Competing with some of the longest titles.
That is a long title. And, man, I want that. And, okay, that's going to be November 8th.
For $40. So, hey.
Good news. I mean, bad news, wallet. guess I'm gonna spend another $40. I do appreciate you, Daryl, saying Ni no Kuni. I love that game. I remember playing it joyfully. It has such a charm. It is what a modern real time RPG should be. Like just like when you're battling, like you're able to dodge attacks and you have your little monsters. I mean, and then it just has that Studio Ghibli sort of feel. Like it is majestic. And September 20th. I'm not gonna get it, but I think it's great.
It looked amazing.
It looked amazing.
And it was actually one that we're pretty big fans of Studio Ghibli and
yes,
what they've done. So you got that plus an RPG. It's kind of one of those no-brainer type things. So
for those who, even though I'm not gonna get it, I appreciate the fact that's coming out. And for those who haven't played it, you better get it. Like it is, man, super good. Man, and there's like even a Contra game, right? Like,
oh no, don't mention that.
Oh, okay.
That's that. Oh. Initial reports on that game are not positive.
Oh,
at
really?
All, so,
oh,
no.
I didn't even know that. Wow. Okay, well.
The best thing about that game that I've seen is a panda bear shooting things. So yeah, whatever.
Well, shout out to Panda
Whatever.
Bears. Yeah. So, oh, how can we forget The Witcher 3? October 15th.
Yeah. So that's probably the biggest omission from my list, and it's mostly an omission because
big game.
Even then, I know. I'm crazy. I am not crazy enough to try to fit that in there too. So
yeah, I'm not.
Maybe eventually.
Yeah, me either. Now, I know there have been some Joy-Cons that are been announced, but I just want a surprise Joy-Con surprise. just in the next direct. Like I just just some more colors. Yeah, I don't know. That's just so random, but yeah, I cannot fathom how many games are coming out this September. I mean, just this year, like
it should make our end of year best game on Switch discussion really interesting because presumably we won't have played most of the games that came out. That should be fantastic. For the record, as of right now, before we actually get into the deluge of games that I've just discussed coming out starting later, like next week. Oh god. So if we were to stop the year right now, this is kind of off the cuff. Sergio, what's your game of the year?
Oh man, I haven't played much of it. I know, but it would be Fire Emblem Three Houses. I can tell already.
Nice.
Fair enough. Kevin, what's your game of the year?
Man, Fire Emblem Three Houses. I mean, easy. Oh my God,
yep.
So good.
And sweep it for me. And this is coming from three different houses of that game. We all kind of come together and say, "Yep, Fire Emblem. If we were to stop the year right now, would be our game of the year." So, not really a surprise, but it probably is a surprise from when we first saw this game. So,
yes,
it's really positive. It's a great game. Who knew? Again, we will eventually get to a spoiler cast, hopefully, on that one. I do want to do that once we get enough people far enough along just to try to piece together this crazy story. So, okay. I think that's probably going to do it for this week. Sergio, you want to get our questions out of the way?
Yes. So last week we asked, what's your impossible sequel? What game do you want a sequel for? But you're just never gonna get it. And we did get a couple of answers on our Discord. Dragon wants Earthbound 2, which is, yes, definitely not gonna happen. Very sadly, though. Very sadly, but yes.
Man.
Cube answered that the sequel I really want to get, but won't, hands down, Okami.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, another good one. Did either of you play Okami then?
I have not.
I didn't play no, that's the handheld one. I never played it.
Right, yeah, me neither. I wonder if we're missing out.
It was apparently decent, and that's about as far as people left it. So,
right. So what is your impossible sequel, Daryl. We know Kevin's.
Well,
so-
actually, it's not gonna be F-Zero. I'm telling you.
Oh,
It's not.
okay.
Go ahead, Kevin. Go ahead.
Okay. Put me on spot. Sure.
Well, you jumped in,
Oh,
man.
I
It's not
know.
me
Oh,
putting you. What do you want?
Yeah. Okay. All right. You know what? I want a Golden Sun 4, but without the kid.
Oh.
But without the, the kids. Like, I want to see Isaac. I want to see, Garrett, Ivan, Mia, Felix, Jenna, those people in some sort of fashion. I don't know, man. It's got, because Golden Sun 3 wasn't that great. I mean,
I wonder if they would actually go back and like retcon that at this point, because Golden Sun 3 kind of just moved on with those characters, and they're just like, nope, you're done. And I wonder if they would go back, because I would prefer that too.
Yes.
Or they could make a prequel.
Yes, that too. Yep.
Golden before Golden Sun 1, like Isaac's dad or mom or whatever, like they were these like like awesome people that use gin very well, and the lighthouse. I don't know. Just something.
Dude,
with
if they used the words Golden Sun in a game's title, I would probably be okay. At this point.
Yeah, I know the easy answer is F-Zero, but I'm not doing that. I'm saying Golden Sun. That's my answer.
I think I would probably say Kid Icarus Uprising 2 at this point.
Oh, nice.
I don't know
How's it
how
going?
quote unquote impossible this is, but it doesn't feel likely. What I'll say, because this was developed, of course, by Masahiro Sakurai, who is quite busy with Super Smash Brothers and such. This was kind of his pet project, bringing the series back after something like 25 years in dormancy. So I recently kind of came to the conclusion that it was my number one game hard stop on 3DS, like period.
Oh,
wow,
Kid Icarus
yeah.
Uprising was. And I would love to see it ported / sequeled. And people have flat out said that's not likely, but hey, here's hoping.
Yep. I'm gonna knock on wood for that. So well, hopefully, Nintendo, if you're hearing us, make those happen.
What about you, sir?
Yeah. The Dog Island 2.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yes.
Dog
And it's not
Island.
gonna happen. So.
What about the Cat Island? Would you
You know what? Yeah.
really?
Yeah. Bring it.
Cat Island.
Yeah.
What if they have like a cat version of K Slider?
Oh my
Yo,
god.
wouldn't that be cool, dude? Like, but what would they name him though, or her? Like, what would it be? Like,
Key T Slider.
yeah.
Kid T Slider. Oh my.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What's the question for this week?
Yeah. Question for this week to our listeners. Let us know. Other than Earth, what's your favorite planet? It can be real. It can be from games, anime, science fiction, whatever. What's your favorite planet?
Oh man, I already have an answer.
Easy.
Oh,
Easy.
Gosh.
Ah.
I cannot. I'm gonna wait until later. I mean, it involves a particular show that I used to watch back in the day. That's all I'm gonna say.
Nice. So yeah, definitely let us know. And well, with that, yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. We're gonna jump out of here. If you haven't already, feel free to join our Discord group. We have a great community to chat with and to play games, and we would definitely love to have you there as well. If you're interested, the description for this episode has a link to our Discord. Other than that, we have a Facebook group, and we are also on Twitter and on Instagram as Nintendo Jump. You can also listen to all of our episodes on YouTube. Please send us any feedback you have at NintendoJumpPodcast@gmail.com. If you want to support the show, the best way to do so would be through our Patreon. That's patreon.com/NintendoJump. And another way to support would be by leaving a review for the show in your favorite podcast application. Whichever way you choose to support, we really appreciate it. This is Sergio, and on behalf of Daryl and Kevin, thanks for listening. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Take care, everybody.